from Clearview Regional High School. Comcast Cable Channel 5 presents High School Wrestling. Today, it's the Tri-County Conference Colonial Conference Showcase. With John Vogen, I'm John Mondelian. Vogen, interesting day of wrestling here at Clearview.
No question. Some of the best wrestlers you're going to see in the Colonial Conference, in the Tri-County Conference. A lot of Paulsboro-Kingsway matchups, and of course they're sitting 2-3 in South Jersey in the most recent rankings, and I think you're going to see some spectacular wrestling.
And I think the best part of a match like this, Voge, is it gives us a chance to see some kids we don't get to see during the dual meet season. And we're going to see one of those right off the bat, and Chuck Zeisloff at 103 pounds, and I should say now 103 is 105.
That's correct. The 2-pound growth allowance has come in, so you're going to see wrestlers, they may say 103 in the newspaper, but it's actually 105 pounds. And of course, I've had the opportunity to see both these wrestlers within a week of each other. I saw Curtis Becker at the quad I went to in Toms River, and I saw Chuck Zeisloff in the match against Paulsboro. So you're in for a treat here. These are two really outstanding young wrestlers, both freshmen.
I was going to say, you look at the records, and we said Zeisloff 21-0, Becker 20-5. Kingsway's Russ with a tough schedule, Votes, but we saw him pick up a big win against Camden Catholic.
No question. He's an outstanding young wrestler, and you talk about 5 losses, but you got to remember they started off in that tournament out of Penn State, where he had a loss out there. You talk about the matches against some of the top competition, Kittatinny, Camden Catholic, Virginia Duels. So it's been a rough road, and I think Becker's handling it very well. Of course, everybody well aware of by now his next older brother is a All-American at Indiana University, and his oldest brother is a assistant coach down at Liberty University, where Jesse Castro is now the head coach, former Kingsway coach.
And Zeisloff taking the first shot. He's quick, Voge.
He's very, very quick, and it's hypolazium out there. He took the shot, but Becker counted and gets the takedown. Zeisloff, product of his father, who was a 2-time district champion, and a very familiar face at many of the matches.
Of course, now there's a size differential here. Height-wise,
no question, and many times you'll see that the taller wrestler really has an advantage out there. It's a lot easier to control your opponent if you have leverage, and height gives you leverage.
So Becker with the 2-0 lead.
The official on the mat doing this, and they're volunteering their services, by the way. Scott Jenkins, who we've seen a couple times this year, and I believe they said Eric Love was going to be the other official today.
Cut his hair.
.40 seconds left in the opening period.
Zeisloff doing what he's got to do on the bottom, trying to stay active.
Trying to stay active, and probably against most 103-pounders, the move he just tried would have worked, but Curtis Becker has been through a lot of great matches this year, and that height differential certainly is paying dividends for him right now.
I do want to mention there is a team score, and each wrestler's coach will be in the corner, coaching his own wrestler.
Correct.
Becker got Zeisloff in a little trouble.
Trying to turn him for back point.
We'll run out of time, but it'll take a 2-0 lead as we go into the second period. Another thing I mentioned, Coach, before we started there, take a look at Tom McConnell, the head coach of Kingsway on the right-hand side, as we get ready for the second period.
So each head coach will be out there, and we'll have one of his own assistants in the corner with him normally.
Becker on the bottom to start the second.
2 points in the first period was huge for Becker, because anytime you take the lead out there, if the other wrestler gets in jeopardy on top, a lot of times they'll just cut the wrestler loose and you still have the lead.
Go back to the center. We wrestled 16 seconds into the second period.
There you see
Lucas
on the left, Chuck Lucas, right? Bill Lucas, the brother. I get confused which one coaches Gateway and which one coaches Gloucester Catholic. Both involved in coaching. Zeisloff proves to be a tenacious wrestler when he's on top. He's very sound fundamentally.
Yeah, and one thing definite, Coach, is that obviously these kids, both freshmen, we're going to hear from them in the next 4 years.
Well, the next 4 years, and this year, of course, Paulsboro people are waiting for Eric Dunnett to get back on the mat. He was undefeated. As you see the escape by Becker, and he goes right after a takedown attempt before they go out of bounds.
3-0 lead.
But Paulsboro faithful are waiting for Eric Dunnett to get back on the mat. He was a regional champion a year ago. He's been sidelined with a foot injury. Zeisloff, most assuredly, will be his opponent in the district final.
He's definitely going to go 103, Boach?
Yes.
Done it, yeah.
And of course, in the region this year, there's some really outstanding competition at 103 pounds. Holy Spirit has an outstanding wrestler, and St. Augustine has an excellent wrestler.
St. Augustine seems to always have the nice lower weights.
They do. Very consistent in the lower weights. Becker has the lead, but you don't want to get defensive out there. That's when you get in trouble. You want to kind of stay aggressive and keep the pressure on. And again, with his height, makes it pretty tough for Zeisloff to try and get in on the legs.
There's Becker with a nice move.
Well, a good counter move because, again, Zeisloff took the shot. Becker knows that he has the lead, so all he's got to do is counter that and try and spin behind and see if he can't get 2 points.
And he got it. 10 seconds left, 5-0 lead, Curtis Becker.
Again, too, you saw the height advantage there when he tried to spin behind like that. He could get his legs up in the air and get behind.
Of course, these two wrestlers in different districts. Kingsway wrestlers in District 31, Gateway, District 29. As we get into third period. And the records, this match does count on their records, right, Boach?
Yes, it does. And it also has implications when you talk about seeding meetings. Head up is very, very important when you go to the seeding process. So Becker winning today, if he wins the match today, will give him another criteria when you come time to talk about seeding procedures.
Of course, we're talking regions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, this should have no bearing, real bearing in the district because you have the returning district champion coming back in District 29 in Eric Dunnett. So unless something unforeseen happens, he would get the #1 seed. So Zeisloff is wrestling a superior competition here, and that's going to be a plus for him when you talk criteria. Curtis Becker, very technically sound.
Just going to say that, Boach.
Doesn't make many mistakes.
Looking for back points. Does not get them.
A nice Peterson by Zeisloff. He's going to get a reversal out of it. I don't think he
Did he get
got
back?
him there. No, didn't get him there in time to get back points before they went out of bounds.
5-2, still have 1:03 to wrestle.
But that was a nice move by Zeisloff to stay right in there and not give up the ghost. And many times when a wrestler on the bottom will stand up like that and have the height advantage that he has, Becker could almost assuredly get out. Zeisloff did a great job of sticking with him like glue and bringing him back to the mat. Now, of course, he's running out of time. 40 seconds to go in the match. Trying to go for a near side cradle.
Misses as Becker tries to fight it off.
Well, Becker's going to throw his hips back into Zeisloff and try to fight off the bottom. He reaches around, grabs a leg, grabs an arm.
And he can get a reversal.
Gets a half in, gets a reversal. Great job by Becker.
7-2 lead. Under 10 seconds left. And that'll wrap up the first match, and Tri-County takes a 3-0 lead over the Colonial Conference.
Great job by both wrestlers, both freshmen, both with bright futures. Curtis Becker, the winner.
Well, I guess the Buck loves this, Vogue. No lineup juggling or anything like that.
No, not today.
So we know what we're going to get next. Tom Hunter, a sophomore out of Pennsville. He's 18-6 against the sophomore Isaiah Oswald, who we had a chance to see a week ago for Haddonfield.
And Isaiah Oswald, 19-5, his second year in the varsity lineup, 39-15. Tom Hunter is a replacement for the original wrestler who was scheduled to be there, Tony Castiglione from Pittman. Hunter comes in, as you mentioned, with 18 wins, 6 losses, has 40 career wins wrestling for Pennsville. And they've been perking their heads up lately, trying to battle and win a spot in the Group 1 playoffs.
Which will be announced, what, beginning of this week, right, Vogue?
Well, yesterday was a cutoff day, so there should be a meeting at NJSA headquarters on Monday to review all the win-loss records, and it should be published in Tuesday's papers, hopefully.
Which means we'll have a Tuesday night on our show.
Hopefully. Everyone has been accurate with what they've been putting in. Eric Love, the official in this match. Scott Jenkins is assisting him. Again, they've donated their time, which I think is admirable. This is a event raising money for the scholarship funds of both conferences. An idea that was kicked around late last year between Paul Marina and Mike McAleer, and the athletic director at Pittman High School. Originally, we're considering doing after the season, but of course, after the season, every year the South Jersey Wrestling Hall of Fame sponsors an all-star meet between Delaware and South Jersey, Region 7 and 8.
I think this works out better, Vogue, because it's like a dead day in sports, no football. You know what I mean?
The week before the Super Bowl, so it's a perfect time to have an event like this.
I think there's one in Camden County for the public schools. We know there's this one involving a lot of the kids throughout the state at Jackson today.
Yep.
Oswald has Hunter in trouble, gets the takedown, might get more.
And a nice counter move, too, because Hunter had got 3/4 of the way through a takedown. Oswald fought it off. Now he's got a cradle and a fall. Oh, my. 1 minute, 48 seconds. Oswald with the pin.
6-3 lead for the Colonial. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
At 119.
Through 2 weights, 6-3 lead, Colonial Conference. John Mondelli, John Vogening. We're at 121, Voge. Ryan Layton and DJ Richards here. Voge, here's that move for the pin.
See the Pennsville wrestler in the blue trying to get inside, and the Haddonfield wrestler just fights it off, goes to right away to a near side cradle, and then he just arches him over, misses it the first time through, does not release the cradle, sticks him this time, very, very tight, the blades are down, you got the fall.
Ryan Layton from Clearview, DJ Richards, Haddon Township, 121, third match of the day.
Ryan Layton of Clearview, 15-2 this year with 66 career wins. First in the district 29 tournament in 2005. Second last year. His opponent DJ Richards of Haddon Township, 21 wins and 2 losses this year. 86 career wins. Third in district 28 last year. Of course, Clearview coached by John Marinelli. And Haddon Township by Chris Hoffman.
Takedown for Richards.
It was a big win last week in that quad that Paulsboro hosted. Paulsboro got his 300th in a row against Haddonfield, and then Haddon Township wrestled Paulsboro, and I believe Paulsboro shut them out. And Eddie Wertenberger had a real big win against DJ Richards.
Actually beat both opponents this year.
Yes.
Both of these guys.
Yep.
Sure, we might see a little rematch when we get to the district finals, maybe, with Layton and
Wertenberger. Absolutely. DJ Richards. You know, one thing you'll see in a lot of these matches today is so much technical finesse out there in the mat. These guys are not sloppy for the most part, and they're very sound in what they're trying to do out there.
Layton Wrestling in his home gym. Also, surprised, nice crowd, because really didn't get much publicity on this match the last couple days.
Get an injury time out here or bleeding, and you can see the trainer coming into the picture there along with John Marinelli, the head coach, and the trainer is Katie Skinner, who's the trainer here at Clearview High School. See Chris Hoffman, the coach from Haddon Township, talking to DJ.
Many years Haddon Township, a power in the Colonial Conference, but
quite a few years. Of course, longtime coach there was Nora Preston, and it just seemed like every year it was a Paulsboro-Haddon Township showdown. In fact, as the last team to beat Paulsboro in the Colonial Conference back in 1971 was Haddon Township. And of course, since then it's been a chase. West Deptford a couple times raised its head and tried to stop that streak. Collingswood last year. Audubon's had some pretty formidable teams. Haddonfield. It's an amazing streak when you stop and think about it.
second period, Layton starts on the bottom. Ryan Layton, remember seeing him, Burge, freshman year, won a district title.
Yep.
Placed twice in the districts. First and a second.
Now a junior. Of course, you would kind of hope with the kind of success that the football team had this year.
Oh, look at this.
There's a near side cradle by Richards.
Gotta watch.
My. Oh, he's got to watch his own back, too.
So I was going to say.
My. Oh, my. Deep trouble. Oh, my.
There's a pin.
Oh, brother.
2 pins in a row. Colonial up now 12-3.
Winner by fall at Haddon Township High School.
Well, both 6 times tonight or this afternoon. Paulsboro and Kingsway will match up, and this is the first one.
First one coming up at 125 pounds, now 127 pounds, but it's Nico Lopez representing the Colonial Conference. Nico Lopez, a senior, 23-3 this year with 94 career wins, 94-35. Second in the district in 05, first in the district last year, third in Region 8 in 2005 and 2006. His opponent, a very formidable opponent, a junior at Kingsway now, spent his first 2 years at Collingswood, 15-5 this year. We're talking about Rich Bushby.
Looks like he got poked in the eye.
First in District 28 in 05, second in the district in 06, first in Region 7 in 05 and 06, and sixth in the state last year.
That's his freshman year, I think, Coach, wasn't he? I thought he placed as a freshman. Well, we know he's a state place winner.
Yep.
No score, wrestled 20 seconds into the first period. Bushby and Lopez.
And of course, again, you saw a little bit of a height differential out there with Bushby being a little bit taller than Lopez. And when Lopez has had trouble this year, it's generally been against a taller wrestler. No score. Lopez again takes a shot, gets inside. Bushby battling back, reaches around, grabs the ankle, and this is when Lopez gets in trouble many times. Able to scoot out of bounds before the takedown is engineered. So with a minute left in the opening period, no score. Bushby in on a single leg. He wants to try and lift, he switches to a double. Lifts up in the air, drives it, gets the takedown. So the first score goes to Kingsway's Bushby on a takedown.
Bushby wrestled 19 or 21 yesterday against Kittatinny.
That was a tough loss for Kingsway yesterday. I was talking to one of the assistant coaches before this meet started, and he said that they were kind of hoping that the match would have started at a different weight class, and before they knew it, they were behind, losing the first 3 bouts. And that's called old momentum.
Sure.
especially when you're in the other team's house. 10 seconds to go in the opening period. Bushby with a 2-0 lead. Caution against the Kingsway wrestler.
Lopez trying to steal a point. He won't get it. We'll go into the second period with a 2-0 lead for Bushby. Bushby defers.
Paul Marina, the head coach from Paulsboro, looking on intently. Notice Bushby deferred, and Lopez is more comfortable on his feet, especially with the height differential that Bushby has and the experience that Bushby has. So Lopez is going to take his chances on his feet, try to get the takedown and knot this this bout back up. Oh my.
Got him in trouble. He's got to finish it off though.
Well,
there's the two.
There's the takedown.
And there's the count.
He's got back points.
Oh, he's getting back points.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
We'll get the 3 back points.
Switching off on coming around the other side, trying to get the cradle, trying to get his head in the ribs. If he drives his head in the ribs and forces the man over, he can put him on his back again. Lopez senses the possibility here of getting, he's not going to get any more points for this move because he's already got the guaranteed 3.
Right, so it's either try and pin him or he's just going to get the 3. But I'll tell you what, take some time off that clock isn't a bad idea either.
Not at all, not at all. Try and keep that grip and keep driving him.
And there's the 3 back points. Now he can get more.
Well, now he's got to be very, very careful. He's got a 5-2 lead with 30 seconds to go in the period. So he's got to keep aggressive and keep trying to go for some kind of a back points move.
And Bushby's got to look like he's got to be doing something on the bottom also, Voge.
Well, he's pretty well tied up here. So
right here he can't. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he just can't lay out flat on the mat and expect not to be hit. But pretty soon it's close to being a stalemate.
There it is. Well, this is interesting.
12 seconds to go. Now here's a very, very key here. 12 seconds to go. You don't want to give up late points in a period.
Bushby will try and keep moving, maybe try and steal a couple here late. Can he get it, Voge? Can he get it? Oh!
Nice counter.
Almost had the reversal, but a great move by Lopez. Let's take a look, Voge, at this move by Lopez. The beginning of the second period.
Just controls the head. See, he forced the head down now. He sees the near leg right there. So he reaches through and he grabs that near leg, locks up the cradle. There he gets the takedown. And as soon as he exposes his back, he'll start getting back points.
5-2 lead, and interesting because Bushby almost reversed him here. What's Lopez's game plan here? Is it looks like Bushby's going to get out.
Well, Bushby's got the escape. Now what Lopez has to do is has to be continue to be aggressive because now it's a 5-3 match. Next takedown is super important.
And each wrestler with a takedown. Bushby had one in the first period.
Yep. And it's very, very difficult.
There's a penalty point, Voge. 5-4, big point.
Yep. And that's because you're being told this year you can head tap, but if you get it in a guy's eye, it's an automatic penalty point, and that's what happened.
Lopez 5, Bushby 4.
Five to 4. So with so much time remaining in the period, what Lopez has to do is get motion out there and try and be aggressive. He cannot stall, or that will be called.
What that point also does for Bushby, Voge, if he should get a takedown, he can't lose the match on an escape.
Right.
Gives him a little leeway, too.
Yep. Lopez trying to extend the taller wrestler, controlling the head. Again, notice how he wants to keep the head controlled and then look for an opening to try and maybe spin behind or look for that cradle again.
Bushby's going for the takedown, and he looks like he's going to get it, but you got it. He has a 6-5 lead.
A good shrug gave
Lopez trying for a reversal. He's not going to get it. Or does he? He got it. 44 seconds, 7-6 lead, Lopez.
Again, with this little time left.
Trying to get the cradle.
He's trying to lock up the cradle again. If he locks up that cradle and keeps himself from breaking that grip, Bushby with all that experience though. That's where Lopez wants to stay, right in that position there. Keep that near side cradle.
15 seconds.
You see Marina and Dean Duke in the Paulsburg corner, pretty excited, and rightfully so. It's a two-time regional champion that Lopez is going to beat.
Yeah, he sneaks a pig at the clock, and Nico Lopez, 7-6 win over Bushby, 15-3, Paulsboro. Colonial Conference. They had Paulsboro on the mind there with the win.
Well,
we'll be right back.
Comcast Channel 5 will be broadcasting today's showcase Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Tuesday 3 p.m.
Back at Clearview, 15-3 lead for the Colonial Conference. Here's that.
Here's Lopez.
Reversal.
Watch this. Feels the half. As he rolls through, he just throws his hips out. Watch him throw his hips. Try and post with the arm, throw the hips, turn the body, and then spin behind. Push the head down, spin behind.
Always keeping active. Okay, Voch, couple juniors, Joe Arnsberg from Audubon, John Renard from Kingsway.
Joe Arnsberg of Audubon, a junior, 19-4 this year with 23 career wins. John Renard, a junior from Kingsway, had a spectacular year last year. 20 wins and 4 losses this year, 60 career wins. Third in the district, 31 in 2005, second in 2006, but more importantly, first in Region 8 in 2006.
Right, you know, he's a little upset, Roach. I think at one point in his match yesterday, he was winning and ended up getting pinned in that Kittatinny match. So,
yes.
You know, you got to look at these guys who lost yesterday. Wilcox is another one like that. You know, they got a little thing on their mind called revenge.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the mat with them today. They got some points to make, and of course, Renard already out there getting a takedown, having a 2-0 lead.
Renard's one of those names at Kingsway you heard in the midget program, but I think he really showed us a lot last year when we did that match against Kittatinny, where he gave Will Livingston all he could handle, and Livingston went on to win a state title.
Right. And of course, there's another Renard in the Kingsway lineup. In that lineup, I believe Joe, his brother, right?
I think so.
And John is. I've seen him a couple times now at different meets, and he is a very, very good wrestler, very sound wrestler. And as we mentioned, that's what you're going to see in many, many cases today. A lot of sound moves out there, technical moves.
Had that big match, I think, last year in the regions against Wilcox.
Yes.
Which was, I think, a rematch of their District 31 final,
and was reversed.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, great memory you have.
We talked about all this on the way over, Voch. You know that long 10-minute drive we had?
Well, we're very, very fortunate to see some of the wrestling that we see, not only around South Jersey, but when we get to that Region 8 tournament, just some spectacular wrestling that goes on down there. And we're going to see more of the same this year.
I tell you what, Voch, this next week's going to be busy. I mean, it seems like, you know, we kick it in overdrive. I mean, we got a match Wednesday night in the Colonial, big match, and it'll be a nice crowd, I'm sure. West Deptford resurgence over there in the wrestling program at West Deptford, Voch. When we see West Deptford and Paulsboro, then next weekend we have the inaugural Tri-County, what is it?
Tri-County Conference individual tournament. They'll be wrestling on Friday and Saturday. Saturday around 3 o'clock, stopping at Williamstown High School. You'll see 3 mats on the floor, going for first and second on the center mat, third and fourth on one of the side mats, and fifth and sixth on the other. It'll be like a 3-ring circus out there.
Of course, then we have the districts and the regions after that. Renard with a 4-0 lead with the reversal. Beginning of the second period. Colonial Conference leads 15-3. Started this match at, like old school, Vogue, 103 today.
103. My favorite weight class to start at. Let the young guys kick start it, and let the older guys and the more experienced guys finish it up. course, hopefully we'll be able to get one or two of the sectional matches. Looming on the horizon is what could be an outstanding match with the winner of Shalleck and Delran, rather, going against Paulsboro for another Group 1 title.
An injury timeout for Arnsberg, who is coached by Voge.
He is coached by Scott Siebold. First year at Audubon this year. And of course, once the state tournament is over, a couple days after the state tournament, hopefully we'll be able to do the Delaware versus Region 7 and 8 All-Star match, and that'll be at Paulsboro this year. So you're going to see quite an outstanding array of wrestlers involved in that one.
Well, Voge, every Tuesday at 7 and 10 p.m., it's the High School Sports Report, the wrestling edition. And I guess, Voge, at least for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be on Tuesdays. And then, as usual, we move to Wednesday nights when the tournament starts. So we don't interfere with running our show on a wrestling night, because wrestling, one of the few sports I don't get that happens to change their schedule. They wrestle on Wednesdays all year. Then it comes tournament time, and they kind of move it to Tuesdays and Thursday.
Yeah.
But hope to have a couple interviews after this match with some kids we don't get to see that much, and then that'll be on the show also, so make sure you tune in. Half hour of wrestling talk. 4-0 lead Renard, 1:16 left, second period.
And again, technically sound and doing all the basic things extremely well out there, and in complete control of the match. There's some people still filing into the gym.
Yeah, great crowd. 1 o'clock Sunday.
What better way to spend a couple hours than with my partner watching the greatest sport around.
Absolutely. And hopefully my wife was up last night making the gravy, so it's nice and thick this afternoon or this evening when I get home. Sunday, spaghetti day.
What are we having?
Some kind of pasta, hopefully. Some meatballs, brajol, I don't know. Who knows?
I did get an invitation to that, right?
You know what's going to happen, Voge? I'm going to get home, and she's going to say, let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
We'll end up at Nino's in Paulsboro. Who knows? 23 seconds left. John Renard of Kingsway, a couple juniors.
And of course, Renard, as a returning and defending regional champion, is starting to peak for the postseason.
Looking down, Voge, I'm interested in 145. I'm kind of curious to see that Andrew Hessert wrestle Mark Haig. Haig was a region champ. Hessert having a great year.
And a very good career so far, too.
Right.
So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
And the other one's the 171-pound weight class. Tom McCauley and that freshman Zach Greenwald of Paulsboro. There's Tony Barchuk, Voge. Now listen, here's what I want you to do.
Yes.
One day, talk to Tony on the phone. Close your eyes. Well, you don't have to close your eyes. He's on the phone, so you won't see his face. Telly Savalas. Telly Savalas. Sounds just like him.
You know, he was quite a football player at North Carolina State back in the old days.
Who was that?
Tony Barchuk.
Old days? Tony's not that old. Going to be the old days. A few years back, maybe.
A few years back.
2 years back.
I'll change it.
There you go.
And of course, a couple of his football players involved in this meet today. Cody Berry. We'll
Prince.
see at 215, and Andrew Prince at heavyweight.
Only there's a lot.
McCauley.
Another takedown. 6-0.
Very, very sound performance by Renard.
That same kind of job we saw Becker do at 103, Voge.
Yes. Technically sound.
How many times do you think Curtis Becker was beat up in the basement with his brothers, though?
Oh.
Pounding around in that with those two guys, with Rob and Brandon.
Yeah. Got his baptism early, right in his probably the basement of his home. And of course, you know, carrying that kind of legacy. I mean, it's a good thing to inherit, but a tough thing to overcome, because
Sure.
You have brothers that were pretty good wrestlers,
Oh, yeah.
and then you come along, so automatically people say, oh, here's Curtis Becker, and Brandon's an All-American, and Rob is coaching on the collegiate level, so Curtis is automatically going to be good. It takes hard work to become good.
Absolutely.
A lot of dedication. And I think that's what you're saying. You saw that from both 3-pounders tonight. Chuck Zeisloff, a great future ahead of him, and certainly Curtis Becker, I think, a great future.
Renard just looks punishing out there too.
Physically, he's handling his opponent. And that's what it takes to be a regional champion wrestler. You have to know the basics, you have to improve on your technique, and you have to stay aggressive.
John Renard, a workmanlike effort, 6-0 win. 3 more team points for Trico, and it's a 15-6 score.
6-0 score.
One of my favorite people just walking by. Remember Billy Gibbs from Clearview?
yeah.
His mother just walked by. Billy Gibbs, former state champ, did his wrestling here.
Next up at 135. For the Colonial Conference, and now Paulsboro High School.
Here we go.
I guess-
That was was the wrestler your favorite person?
The parents. The parents are great people. Always come up and say hi. They're here. I see them here today. I saw them here today. She just walked by. And Billy's one of my favorites too.
You're 135 pounds. You have one of the best wrestlers in South Jersey going at it, Aaron Wilcox of Shalik, 23-1 this year. His most recent, his only loss was over the weekend in the Jack Welch duels up at Morristown when he lost to
Sweezy
of Delran. 118 career wins. First in District 31 in 2004, second in 2005, first and got the Outstanding Wrestler Award in 2006, third in the region in 04, first in 05, second in 06, sixth in the state in 06.
And we're just having a clinic.
Yes.
Twice he took him down, twice he let him go.
And his opponent, of course, we didn't mention Ryan Hone, a senior from Paulsboro, 15-9 this year, 47 career wins. He has his work cut out. As we alluded to earlier, Shalik having an outstanding year, and they lost to Delran in the finals of that Jack Welch duels at Morristown, and very well could meet again in another week in the semifinals of Group 1.
Yeah, I would think Paulsboro right now would be what, Vodes, the top seeders, head coach. Brian
on our right hand side there, Brian Farnham, former outstanding wrestler at
Haddon Township
High School. Brian Farnham, his brother Kevin Farnham, were very good wrestlers at
Kevin
Haddon
was a state champ, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Or Brian was a state champ. Kevin was a state champ. Yeah.
I believe.
Martin was a state champ.
There was a Farnham who was a state champion.
Yeah, there you go.
I had the pleasure years back when I had a different vocation of coaching Ryan Hone's father, Al, in football at Paulsboro back in my younger days.
What is your vocation now, Vodes? Because you are retired.
I am.
That's your vocation?
Semi-retired.
You're the busiest retired person I know, but you are retired. 4-2 lead for Wilcox. You talk about that. I'm sure Farnham's looking at what went right and what went wrong against Delran as they get ready, and I guess it'll be about a week and a half, Vodes, when they probably will meet again.
Won't be long. I think February 6th.
Everything's a week earlier. It's still throwing me off.
February 6th is when it'll happen, because I think February 8th is the sectional finals throughout the state, and then that following Sunday, the state championships will be wrestled at the Rataco Center in Toms River. Nice switch attempt by Wilcox. Ryan Hone is battling, there's no question.
He was taken down, I think, twice in the first 20-25 seconds. Has held his own since. Trying to hold on here. Might get a stalemate. Well, we'll see. Wilcox trying to sprawl and get out and get the escape.
Yeah, it
looks like he's going to get it.
Yeah, he breaks the hold, and there he's got the escape.
Now he can push down that head, spin around, and get a takedown.
Well, that's
put him right on his back. He's trying to get the 5 at once, it looked like. Now he's going to settle for the 2.
Yep.
7-2 lead, a minute left here in the second period. Wilcox in the lead. Still a little pride, too, in the conference side here, Vote, so I'm sure they don't want to give up big points. So the key for Hone here is keep it close also. You do want to win, but keep it close.
Especially when you're wrestling somebody with Aaron Wilcox's credentials. I mean, he is a proven outstanding wrestler, so you have a formidable task facing you just walking out there in the mat. And you don't want to let your teammates down, but you're really not as accomplished a wrestler as Wilcox is. Wilcox has had a great career. Anytime you can win a regional title and place in the state, you've done what you've had to do. And you've worked very, very hard to get there.
And 118 wins, that's pretty impressive.
Extremely impressive. 20 seconds to go in the period. 7-2 lead for Wilcox.
Back points, maybe more votes.
Oh,
Time's going to run out. We'll get some back points. We'll see what the count was. 2 back points, 9-2 lead. We head into the third.
Ryan Hone wants to take the neutral position. A lot of times what wrestlers are thinking about when they take the neutral position is following up a takedown attempt with taking the opponent right to his back to try and get back points, make it a 4 or 5 point move. Staring at a 9-2 deficit. Hone has his work cut out. Wilcox steps over. He's got Hone in a lot of trouble. Oh my. Oh my. Wilcox still smarting from that loss yesterday to Sweezy. Oh my.
Got him there,
There it is. Oh my.
10 left, third period, pin for Wilcox.
Winner by fall. Out of Shelley High School, Aaron.
Makes it 15-12. Here's the final move.
You see him throwing the near side half in just for the end of the second period and putting him in a lot of jeopardy, not getting the fall there, but coming right back in the third period and finishing the job.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Back at Clearview, 15-12 Colonial Conference, 140 pounds. Scott Ware of Clayton and Joe Police of West Deptford.
Scott Ware of Clayton, a senior, has 17 wins, 1 loss this year, 89 career wins, 3rd in District 29 in 2005, 1st in the district in 2006, 4th in Region 8 in 2006. Having a spectacular career for Clayton, not known as a wrestling power in South Jersey, and he's leading the team to higher heights this year. His opponent, Joey Police of West Deptford, a senior, has been around, 18-4 this year, 57 career wins, 2nd in the district back in 2004, 3rd in the district last year. Of course, West Deptford with a more pronounced wrestling history than Clayton. There you see John Craig, the head coach, on the right-hand side from West Deptford.
It's like Jason Morrell next to him. Jason Morrell, some football player, folks.
Oh, was he ever? Takedown awarded.
For Ware. Ware's only loss came at 152 votes, I think, against Holy Cross.
Right.
So
Holy Spirit, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And he's wrestling at 140, so.
Yeah, you'll see that in the papers once in a while. If you follow the summaries in the paper, you'll see guys who normally are one weight class and they'll go up and wrestle. You see the escape by Police.
Right in on that ankle, though.
Oh,
Ware. Nice
move by Ware. Nice move. Nothing yet. I don't think anything yet. There's the 2. Spins behind. Of course, we had a chance to talk with Bob Tunstall a couple of years back, who's got the junior program going, and his son wrestled in the program, I think graduated last year. So Dan Antonelli resurrected a program that was really the doormat of the league, and now they're a highly competitive team in the Tri-County Conference. Joey Police trying to engineer a switch into a reversal. Got a near side cradle. If he knocks the man off his hip, he'll get the 2-point reversal.
Nice job by Ware, though. Fights
Great job by Ware. An escape is given because Police never really got to the position where he could be in complete control, but he had enough of a separation there to get the escape. 4-2. Police has to watch his shots here because he took an ill-advised shot the last time and let his leg get trapped. This time he tries to lower his base. Aware, again, very sound technically out there.
You know, I was talking to Dan Antonelli before the match, Vogue, and what's more impressive, you know, with Clayton's record in wrestling is the fact that being one of the smallest Group 1 schools in the state, they also qualify for the playoffs in basketball. So to do that in both sports in a school that small, you know, there's not many boys to go around.
Simply amazing, really. There you see Dan Antonelli on the left side.
Right, and did a great job. Well, he wrestled his, you know, under Steve Isles at Delsey. So he brought that same attitude probably over here to Clayton. There again.
Indeed. Going to get takedown if he controls his man on the mat, which he does there. There's the 2 points. Scott Ware doing a very, very nice job, being very aggressive out there. As we mentioned, coming into this bout, had 89 career wins, so if he wins this bout, it'll be his 90th career win.
Of course, Police we'll see again on Wednesday, and Scott Ware, I'm sure we're going to see in the district finals, Foch.
Oh, I'm sure.
Needs this one, 6-3.
Police trying to control the head, seeing if he can't spin around and grab an ankle. He's got his hand on the ankle, but Ware doing a great job of making sure that he can't spin behind. Jason Morrell, not only a great football player, but also an outstanding academic student.
Where'd he go, Lehigh, something like that?
Lehigh University. He's honored by the Touchdown Club as a graduate, college graduate. He was honored by the Touchdown Club during his high school career at West Deptford. And of course, what better program to come back and get into than West Deptford with all the success Clyde Folsom has had. Again, you see the aggressiveness of Scott Ware.
Got the 2, it's now 8-3.
Gets the 2 points just before they go out of bounds. That's all aggression.
I think John Craig, Vogue, the coach of West Deptford, I think he started his high school wrestling career at Charlotte.
I believe you're right.
So moved over to the Colonial, like Bushby went from the Colonial to the Tri-County.
Right.
Craig did the opposite.
Shows how Scott Ware is almost in complete control out there, not giving his opponent any time to even breathe. There was a nice profile article in the Gloucester County Times on Scott Ware and talking about who was working with him as he pursues this journey of trying to get to the state tournament.
Right.
Gives up the escape, spins behind. If he takes his man to the mat, he'll get another 2.
He got the 2. 10-4.
And a lot of times when you're getting as many takedowns as Ware has gotten in this match, you feel more comfortable wrestling in that position, wrestling on your feet.
Well, 4 seconds, we'll try and hold him down and we'll go into the 3rd.
That was his 5th takedown. I mean, he's leading 10-4 because of the 5 takedowns.
Injury timeout for Ware. I don't know if it's his ribs or somewhere in the side he's holding.
Yeah, he's holding his ribs. You don't want to get injured this time of the year.
Yeah, getting ready for the 2nd season, the group playoffs, and then obviously it's about the individuals after that. I know there's team titles in districts, but let's face it, both. It's about those individual titles now.
Well, very prestigious if you can win a place in the state or win a state title. Again, you saw Katie Skinner in the corner of Scott Ware, the Clearview trainer, who was volunteering her time today. There she is.
Good job, Vogt. You get everybody in. You got every name. Who's doing the 50-50s?
Not Mrs. Vogt, I'll tell you that.
It's like Carmel Marina, the sheriff of Gloucester County.
All right. That's terrific.
One of the people over there.
Yep. Of course, I had a very, very great occasion last Saturday on the 20th when Elizabeth and I had a wedding anniversary. And
there you go. 30 years, Vogt, huh? What do we got, 40?
40 years.
40, wow.
A wedded bliss.
Oh, well, obviously it's bliss. You're with Mrs. Vogt. Nothing but bliss.
Almost an intentional escape.
10-5, so we'll see how Ware is on his feet again as he goes right in.
Notice the mat control out there.
I was just going to say that, Vogt. Momentarily looked like he was in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and there was a point given there. It looked like, I don't understand. It's
11-5, so obviously there's a penalty point awarded somewhere. Now police going after him.
Yeah, I didn't catch what the penalty point was for, and it was awarded to police, right?
I thought it was Ware. I thought it was 10-5, wasn't it? Or 10-4 going into the period?
Okay.
10-5, maybe not. I don't know much. We'll get that straight. But there's 2 for a takedown for police, and he's back in the match at 11-7. And he's got back points. Oh, just missed the count, Vogt. Just missed the count.
Well, 11-7. He's got no choice here with 49 seconds to go other than to go for some kind of a back points move. And 3 points is not exactly going to help me. He get a 3-point near fall.
Yeah, but then you can think about cutting him if there's enough time and getting a takedown.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Joey Police looking about what can I do now to turn this man over?
So Scott Ware's got to remember he's still got to wrestle another 40 seconds.
Yep. Police looked like he wanted to try and throw the legs in. Here comes the leg. It's going in. If he throws that half hard, pries the man over, he can get back points. I think he's going to... Oh, my.
He's going to get a count, Vogt, but I don't know if there's enough time.
There's not going to be enough time. We're under 10 seconds now. Potentially dangerous. Got 2 back points awarded. And it's now an 11-9 match. The Police has to make a desperation move here with 7 seconds to go. He's going to show a freestyle star, but you may see him.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough time to let him go, take him down, and put him right on his back. He's going to have to try and put him right on his back from this point. We saw it before. I've seen it a couple times.
There it is.
You followed it a lot longer. You've probably seen it more than me.
Yep.
But it's not going to happen this time. And we might see these 2 again in the district final, Vogt.
Yep. 11-9 final. Scott Ware picks up his 90th career win.
That's the score, 15-15.
Out of Wayne High School, Scott Ware.
Go to 145, Andrew Hessert of Haddonfield. We saw him last week. Mark Haig. Well, it seems like we've been saying his name a lot. From Kingsway.
High School, Andrew Hessert.
Mark Haig, a senior at Kingsway, 16-6 this year, 81 career wins, 2nd in the district in 2005, 1st in 2006, 1st in the region, Region 8 in 2006. His opponent, as you mentioned, Andrew Hessert of Haddonfield, a senior, 22-2 this year, 94 career wins, 2nd in District 28 and 4th in Region 7 last year.
By the way, you know, Haig's got 81 career wins, Vogt. He missed the whole second half of his freshman year, the torn meniscus, so he'd be coming up on that 100-win mark if it wasn't for that injury.
Very easily.
Sorry, Vogt, I just had a pretzel delivered to me.
I thought you said you were getting 2.
Melanie Brumall from Kingsway. Yeah, Mrs. Vogt didn't send me over with your order, Vogt. I didn't have to leave. So thanks to Melanie Brumall. Senior class 2007 at Kingsway. You want half my pretzel?
Well, that means you're going to split it, right?
You want half my pretzel? There's no mustard. You sure?
I don't want to deprive you.
There we go. Here's my pretzel.
You look.
There we go.
You look undernourished.
I am undernourished, but I didn't have breakfast today. Had to do a favor. West Effort's soccer sports banquet helped them out today. And
if I stare at that pretzel, you think it'll come my way at all?
My hands are clean. Do you want half a pretzel, Vogt?
No.
And actually, Melanie forgot the mustard. Anyway, we have a little injury timeout. No score.
The Colonial Conference and Tri-County Conference are coming around.
Chuck Whedon, Vogt.
Chuck Whedon.
We'll see his son next.
His son will be wrestling next. He's the trainer for Kingsway. Of course, Chuck Klaus, the head coach for Haddonfield. Tommy McConnell, a former Colonial Conference wrestler himself in his schoolboy days at Collingswood, is the head coach at Kingsway.
There's Haig with the quick move and a takedown.
Nice counter move, slips right out to the side and gets a 2-point takedown. Hessard, last saw him a week ago when he wrestled against Jimmy Gentile of Paulsboro. Gentile had a 9-2 lead and held on for a 1-point win, and Hessard had a slow start in that bout, and he's falling behind this bout. Scott Jenkins, the official, looking in. Former wrestler at Audubon High School in his schoolboy days.
Mark Haig has an impressive win over that Preston Keeper, who's only a freshman, Vogt. Beat him, I think, in the Virginia duels.
Beat him bad, too.
That's Keeper's only loss.
Yep. What Haig has to be careful of, sometimes you ride parallel, you're going to get called for stalling. So he has to engineer something there where he's going to bar the arm or try and get a half and make some kind of an attempt to turn his man.
Haig with the 2-0 lead. Vogt, I think this is the year, they've been there before, but the last couple of years they've come up a little short. Kingsway, that is in Group 3, but this is the year I think they get out of Group 3 in South Jersey.
Oh, I think they will. I don't think there's any question. I mean, they had a tough loss to Kittatinny over the weekend, but
I guess High Point would be the other team in Group 3, statewide.
Yep. See the escape, now 2-1 match.
I think Hessert was a little too far out when he took that shot right there.
Yeah.
See Group 3. Just want to see who's out there. High Point, yep. We had a tough loss to Camden Catholic earlier on the year. And when I look at Group 3, you know, I look around, Vogt, and I'm thinking High Point and Kingsway.
Could well be the state final.
You know, there's a lot of holes in Ocean Township, so I don't see them making it. Of course, the way it worked for PowerPoints, they might meet in the semifinals, and they still might be the two best teams.
That's always a possibility, no question. And Ocean Township, as you mentioned, they have a couple of really sound wrestlers,
right, but
I don't know if they have the depth to compete with a Kingsway. No. I think Kingsway could beat an Ocean.
I definitely think so, Vogt. You know, just they had that problem last year is they had some injuries. This year, though, I mean, 14 weight classes is tough, and here's another takedown for Haig, and he has a 4-1 lead.
And very sound takedown too. If you look at that, Hessert was battling him off, fighting him off, and Haig was just a bulldog in that move. Just got in deep, enough to tilt the man and knock him off his base and get the takedown. So Mark Haig with a 4-1 lead. Should be a caution to the, I think you give it to the top
wrestler.
Yeah,
give it to Haig.
Yep. Got to put that hand on the belly button. Haig going for the tilt. There's getting a one count. One.
No back points there.
Yeah, Hessert keeps, when he heard the one count, he got away from exposing his back. But Haig, very, very sound on top. Well, believe it or not, I'm certainly not making a distinct comparison, but this is how many matches in the NCAA tournament end up, with very methodical and very technically sound matches.
Yeah, I was looking at your article in the paper, was it this week or last week, when you talked, was a Ryan Goodman score, I think it was a high-scoring match, which kind of surprised me.
And then Ryan Goodman, I believe the last match that he wrestled, it's not publicized yet, but he lost a reversal
4-3.
You saw, I saw where he lost to the Maryland wrestler who had beaten earlier in the year by a point. Mark Haig with a 4-3 lead after 2 periods.
That was a tough 2 points for Haig to give up, Voj, in the last 10 seconds, though.
Always.
And they're going to start neutral.
Always. Whenever it's short time out there, you've got to be very well aware of what the time sequence is, and you have to prepare yourself not to give up any big points. See Chuck Klaus on the right-hand side and Kenny Melchior on the left. Kenny Melchior, former head coach at West Deptford, was a head coach for a while at Bridgeton, teaches at West Deptford. Former national champion for Lockhaven University. Hessert again trying to get in on a single. A lot of times they'll switch off the single to a double. Hessert wrestling much like he did when he lost against Paulsboro by rallying late in his match, but Haig will have none of it. Again, powers his way to another takedown.
Haig's better on his feet in this match, Voj.
Absolutely.
Is that his 3rd takedown?
Yep.
Of course, we saw Haig wrestle Jackson Brady at Camden Catholic beginning of the year.
Right. Hesser with a deep sit-out attempt, but Haig was right there to block it off.
And almost got back points and still might.
Very, very close to getting back points. Again, a very heady move.
(15-15) team score, 6-3 Haig.
Tri-County's going to move into the team lead in points in this match with 20 seconds to go, and Hesser trailing by 3 points. He needs a big move here. Stands up, tries to get a reversal. Haig does what he has to do out there to protect the lead.
And he'll win 6-3. So the Tri-Counties won 5 out of the 8 matches so far. 2 of those Colonial wins were pins at 112 and 119, and Lopez's 7-6 win over Bushby. But Mark Haig with the win. And we'll take a break. 18-15, Trico.
152.
Tri-County up 18-15, 152. Jeff Hamilton of Paulsboro and Rob Whedon of Kingsway, Voj.
A pair of seniors with impressive background credentials. Rob Whedon coming into his own this year, 17-7 with 48 career wins, 2nd in the district in 2006 and 4th in the regions. Jeff Hamilton, a senior from Paulsboro, very pedestrian-like 11-7 record this year, 83 career wins, 1st in the district in 2005, 2006, 2nd as a freshman, so he's been a 3-time District 29 finalist, 3rd in Region 8 in 2005, and 2nd a year ago. Again, Hamilton's at his best when he gets motion out there on the mat and executes the things that have worked so well for him in his 4-year varsity career. This year, those things have been slow in coming to him. One time when he was a sophomore and a junior, it was very, very hard for somebody not to be taken down by Hamilton.
He's one of those kids you talk about who came in with the name Hamilton. And it's pressure automatically when you come into a sport when your last name's Hamilton, huh, Vogue?
A lot of extra luggage to carry when you have had family members and relatives who have been exceptional wrestlers. And of course with Jeff, his father was an outstanding wrestler. His uncles were outstanding wrestlers, Marvin and Tyrone and Bryant. So,
and his cousins, Preston and Marvin?
And cousins, Preston and Marvin. So, you know, when you come into this situation, you almost have like a cloak hanging over you. Well, you're a Hamilton, so you're expected to do good. Well, it takes a lot of hard work to uphold that name. And we're just not seeing the kind of moves from Hamilton this year that we've seen in the past, for whatever reason that may be. You have to want to be out there. This is an intriguing sport because it demands not only physical presence but mental presence. And if you're not mentally prepared to go out there, you can make mistakes that end up costing you.
Three seconds left first period, no score.
And this is not unusual for some of the matches that Hamilton's been in this year.
Hamilton's choice, he takes the bottom. Second period, no score.
And here again, he has to explode off the bottom and try and get the early lead.
It'll be interesting to watch Whedon too, Vogue, because a lot of times you see the guy on the top not try and ride or make the move, just let their guy up. But Whedon's pretty active so far on the bottom, but he's got to watch out here. Hamilton can get him in a little bit of trouble.
And he gets the reversal, and he's got the half, and he's got Whedon in trouble with back points. He's got to tighten up on that half. He's got the leg.
Nice job by Whedon, fight off his back, but he gives up 3 back points. It's 5-0 Hamilton.
And there's a kind of a situation when you get the wrestler or the other wrestler in jeopardy by getting his back exposed and getting the half in there. You really have to tighten up on that and become a shark. You have to smell that blood and go after the kill.
1 point escape.
I was going to say Kingsway with the escape, and not much of an effort by Hamilton to try and hold Whedon down.
That's what we were talking about, Vogue. Yep. Working on the top.
It's so important. The higher up the ladder you go, because the further you go now, you know, the old saying is, you're not going to find any guppies this far upstream.
No, I heard that from somebody. Here's the shot by Hamilton.
Again, he's got to finish it. He's got to lift that leg up. Got to be very, very careful, though. Still doesn't have anything. Still has nothing.
Stalemate.
A stalemate.
Let's take a look back, Vogue.
Now, and see what he does here. He gets his hips out. Watch him throw his hips. And when he throws his hips, he'll come right into a near fall situation right there where you got to sink that half up in the armpit. And so you just got the wrist in there. You got to sink that half deep. Never fully got the half in there as deep as it should have been.
Vogue will be out here next week giving a clinic how to finish off that move. Any wrestler in the county want to stop by?
And what Hamilton has to get is motion out there. And of course, Whedon wants to maybe try and push and pull, get him off balance, and then try and spin behind.
And Whedon will have his choice, Vogue, in the third period. I'm almost thinking, Vogue, he's going to take the bottom.
I would think.
I mean, the way he got that quick point before.
So Hamilton with a 5-1 lead. As you predicted, Whedon with the bottom spot. Hamilton has to make a decision here. Does he want to try and break his man down? Try and set up a move? Or is he going to cut him loose right away and take his chances on his feet? There's your answer.
4 seconds. 5-2 lead.
And that's becoming a lost art with some wrestlers. They don't want to put the time in to perfect those top moves where it can be so beneficial I know there's no riding time anymore, so it's that's not a point like it is in college.
It's a point to give it up, though, Vogt.
Well, you're giving up a free point pretty easily.
Yeah.
You want to kind of make the man work for his points. You just kind of like say, oh well, here, take it. Of course, if you're the superior wrestler on your feet, it's a moot point because I'll give up one and get two anytime.
1 point.
That was 1 point for Hamilton, and I'm not sure whether he grabbed the headgear or what.
It's our third penalty point, Vogt. I don't think we've seen 3 penalty points all season. We've had 3 today.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3.
And what it could have been there, Whedon could have either poked the eyes or grabbed the headgear. I'm not quite sure which. And of course, this is one time we decide not to mic the ref, so we can't hear what's going on.
Well, that's because I don't want to say somebody told us there was 3 officials, and I only count 2.
Well,
that was you, by the way. I'm taking a shot at Vogt.
Here again, with 1:20 to go, Hamilton's got to stay active on his feet because I think if Whedon gets him on the mat, he's going to go for some kind of back point situation. And see a lot of pushing by Hamilton here. He's got to be careful not to get off balance and for Whedon to counter that. Doing the right thing now. You have the lead, so you want to get motion out there and make the man work extra hard to try and get you down. A lot of times you can counter a takedown attempt and get an easy takedown yourself. .48 seconds to go in the match. Hamilton with a 6-2 lead.
Expect Whedon to come right at him now.
Well, Whedon's got no choice here. He's down by 4 points. He has to take some kind of a desperation move, trying to get a takedown to the back for near fall points or even the pin.
Stall warning against Hamilton.
You know, he can give them up. And people are going to say he's stalling. He's stalling. Yeah, well, I would stall too with the lead. I say he's doing the right thing there by going into his man and forcing his man backward. That kind of negates the stalling call. And of course, we've often said this year, what kind of match we're going to see, it's according to which Hamilton shows up.
Right. Well, he had that one big move in the second period, and that's going to give him a win. Down to 5 seconds. Whedon trying to get the takedown and get some back points quick. Does he get 2? No.
No, out of bounds.
Looks like we're going to end 6-2.
And that's a big win for Hamilton going into the close of the season now. You're coming into the last week, big match against Collingswood, big match against West Deptford, big match against Phillipsburg, and then of course you have the sectional tournament and the districts. And Hamilton's had a subpar year for his background, so it's very meaningful for him.
And that, we could, as you said, Vogt, down the road when it comes to regions, that's going to affect seedings, that match right there maybe.
No question. In the region, because Whedon's a returning regional place winner, and so is Hamilton.
Here we go, 160, another Paulsboro Kingsway matchup. Mullica Tuso and Mike Cuccinata.
Mike Cuccinata, a senior, finally getting a full-time performance that's excelled this year, 22-4, 44 career wins, a district runner-up last year. I believe that was to the Clearview wrestler, Delia.
Yep.
And Mark Atuso, a senior, 19-5 this year, 58 career wins, second in the district in the last 2 years. There are probably 2 wrestlers I would label as the most improved on the Paulsboro team. Cuccinata is one of them. Brandon Samuels, Sticks, is the other wrestler. He's got 15 wins this year, and last year I think he had 1 total win, and that was by forfeit. Cuccinata, of course, has paid his dues. He wrestled up a weight last year, so he actually has had to watch his weight this year and did a lot of performing in the off season and works very, very hard out on the mat.
Tuso is one of those seniors we talked about, Vogt, at the Camden Catholic match. A lot of seniors on this Kingsway team. We talked to Tom McConnell about that. And this way, I think they think if it's going to be their year, it's going to be now.
You got the experience there. You got to take advantage of the experience. And Paulsboro much the same way. They have a nice nucleus of senior wrestlers, and the big advantage for Kingsway would be they have a lot more support in their program on the JV level, the young level coming up. Paulsboro's thin in numbers, and you're going to have to get some young kids in the junior program to start getting dedicated and put the time in, like Cunchinata has. He's wrestled quite a bit in the all season last year, and has paid dividends for him this year. .30 seconds remaining in a scoreless first period. Cunchinata does get involved in some bizarre positions out there on the mat I've seen over the course of the season. Cunchinata's got to make sure he can't get overextended when he gets in like that. A man controls your head, he can easily spin behind unless you're very careful.
And we finished the first period 0-0. Is that just like the last match? Was that 0-0?
Exactly the same. Big difference is that Paulsboro is down in the second period last match, and Kingsway is down in the second period this match.
Caution, Paulsboro.
Very rarely do you see cautions on the collegiate level, because when that bottom wrestler is set and the top man gets on him, boy, that whistle, you barely touch the opponent and that whistle's blowing. They don't hesitate and wait for somebody to make a caution mistake on top. Cunchinata is riding a little bit high here. He's got to be careful not to get off balance. A lot of time you'll hear a wrestler say that when you're on top like that, you got to drop your hips and knock the opponent off his base.
There's the escape for Gattuso, 1-0 lead. You talk about that depth, Boj, for Kingsway. I think that's why when you look at the career records, especially these middleweight wrestlers for Kingsway, you don't see the 100 wins. A lot of these guys, they don't get in at their freshman level.
Pay their dues. I mean, and that's a key to the success of any program year after year. Being consistent is being able to have guys that are willing to wrestle in the JV level and bide their time and work hard in the practice room. And if you do that, it pays the big dividends in the long run.
And what it also does, Voj, is in some matches, it gives you flexibility where you can weigh these guys in their freshman, sophomore years and give you flexibility in certain weight classes.
No question. I mean, the maneuverability in a lineup pays dividends when you're in the big matches.
Cunchinata going into that shot, but Gattuso did a nice job blocking it. I thought he was going to put Cunchinata down there.
Almost came with some kind of a lateral drop, and that's what you have to be careful of. Can't get overextended, and you can't open up with your wings out going in.
Mark Logan, 20 seconds, you need something.
A lot of people this year who have watched Cunchinata wrestle have seen him do very well on his feet. And of course, if you have an opponent who knows exactly what you're going to do and can block things, it's very, very hard to get the takedown.
Well, so far these two guys look evenly matched. Only point and escape for Gattuso. Cunchinata takes the bottom as we begin the third period. One thing I noticed about Cunchinata, there's a little gap in the front of his mouth there.
Well, he's had one match, he had a tooth knocked out, and shortly thereafter he had another tooth knocked out. So he's missing 2 of his front teeth from wrestling injuries.
Pretty tough kid then.
Yes, he is. Takes a lot of courage to have your teeth knocked out and continue to want to compete.
Now watch Gattuso here on the top. We talked about the Kingsway kids before.
Trying to get a near side cradle.
Gattuso's got to watch out though.
And Cunchinata is familiar with the cradle. He uses it himself a lot of times, so he feels it coming. He's trying to get his hip turned. If he gets his hip turned, he can possibly get a reversal here. There's the 2. There's the reversal. Then he's got the near side cradle.
Gattuso's got that leg locked though, Voj.
Yep.
Well, if you're Cucinotti, you got to free up that arm from his leg and try and turn Gattuso, but a nice job, Gattuso. Now Gattuso's got to work from getting out on that position as he's down 2-1.
And what Cucinotti has to do, he has to keep the head down and pick up the ankle and try and stay in control. Very methodical type match.
This is destined for overtime, Voge.
45 seconds to go. Cucinotti has to spin behind and keep control. Gattuso battling to get out. He's going to get the point here.
And he does. We're tied at 2. 35 seconds left, third period. Two evenly matched wrestlers.
Well, you haven't seen one in a while, but this match could possibly be overtime.
Oh, Gattuso can get a takedown if he can spin around.
Trying to spin behind. A lot of times when you spin one way and you shrug and go the other way, you can get a takedown. Gattuso took a peek at the clock to see what's up.
Gattuso using the clock to his advantage. He has the advantage right here. Running out of time though, and we're going to have overtime, Voge. First overtime match of the day. Tied at 2.
Now it comes down to conditioning and perseverance. Be a 1-minute overtime period, and if there's no score, then they go into the 2 30-second tiebreakers before it goes into sudden victory. Both wrestlers pretty evenly matched on their feet. .25 seconds to go in the first overtime minute. Gattuso taking a peek at the clock.
Gattuso can spin around. Again, Cucinotti fights it off. And that'll run out of time here.
And we're still tied after the first overtime period, 2-2. People have to remember,
Cucinotti had choice here. He won the flip. He has bottom.
And wrestling will continue here, even if a point is scored.
Right.
Got to wrestle the whole 30 seconds. Cucinotti has to come off the back. Gattuso trying to get a cradle. 10 seconds to go.
And Gattuso, great job on top, Voge, and now it's
Rides
the other
out
way
to
around.
30 seconds, right?
And if we're tied after that, then
Then it goes to sudden victory.
right.
Cucinotti will have his hands full here, trying to hold the man down. Seems like an eternity out there when it's 30 seconds, but it sounds like it goes pretty fast, but it's like an eternity when you're one of the competing wrestlers. This is where conditioning comes really into practice here.
And nobody's been hit for a stall in the match, so that's not even going to come to effect.
And we're still 2-2. Now we're going to the sudden victory. Sudden victory, and it's going to be Kingsway choice.
Yep, they scored the first point.
They scored the very first point in the match. They're going to take down. Cucinotti rides, he wins. Gattuso gets out, he wins.
Quick stand up by Gattuso.
What Cucinotti has to do is to stand up with him. They're going to get should get a possible stalemate here. Gattuso trying to get away. Kuchar trying to hold on to that leg.
Gattuso can pop that leg out. He's going to win. 5 seconds. Kuchar holding on for dear life. Exactly. And Kuchinari's going to win.
Oh my! Oh my!
What a tight match.
What a great job by both wrestlers. Oh brother! 3-2 sudden victory.
Got to remember that one also too, Vogue, for region seedings. 21-18 Colonial.
Now wrestling 171.
Back at 171, Colonial leads 21-18. McCauley and Greenwald, and McCauley with the quick takedown.
Here you got the veteran, the senior, Tom McCauley of Kingsway, 20-5 this year, 44 career wins. First in District 31 in 2006 and fourth in the region. His opponent, Zach Greenwald, one of the most exciting freshmen in South Jersey, 23-3 this year, and you're not going to see anybody backing off in this bout. McCauley with the early takedown, Greenwald with the early escape, 2-1 Kingsway at this point. Greenwald was a starter on the football team, a starting linebacker, and for a freshman, that's amazing. Very first match Greenwald wrestled this year, he lost. That was in that series of dual meets down in Virginia that Paulsboro wrestled. Their first opponent was Methacton, and Greenwald got his baptism early, losing to a senior who was a state place winner in Pennsylvania last year.
McCauley in on that leg again, Vogue.
Again, you're dealing with experience against raw freshman talent. McCauley trying to step over. If he steps over, he's going to get another takedown.
McCauley had a tough one yesterday. I think Spellman, Vogue.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's probably coming out on fire today. 2-point takedown.
It's just like Aaron Wilcox getting beat yesterday,
Yep.
and same thing with McCauley.
And Renard.
And Renard. Again, Greenwald is non-stop action out there. You won't see any grass grow under their feet.
In case you noticed the trend, like the Kingsway wrestlers colored their hair, Vogue.
I see that. Caution to the Kingsway wrestler.
I used to do that, Vogue, before I knew you. There you see it.
Yes. It's maybe one to try and match closely the red hair of Greenwald. As soon as McCauley threw the legs in and they came up off the mat, potentially dangerous is called.
Team lead for the Colonial. Tri-County trying to tie it up.
With 2 seconds to go, Greenwald is in jeopardy of coming out on the short end of a 4-1 lead here in this second, going into the second period.
This is where records can be deceiving too, Vogue. You see those 5 losses for McCauley, but we talked about it. We talked about it for years, but you know, the level of competition, the kids are wrestling. You know, we talked about them wrestling Spellman yesterday.
No question. No question. In fact, as all of Greenwald's losses this year have been in tournament competition, and both wrestlers have lost to some pretty talented opponents.
Oh, as they go out.
Again, one trait I see with Zach Greenwald this year is he's a very determined athlete and usually stays very aggressive. But I think when he loses, he's going to lose to an upperclassman. I don't think there's another freshman that's going to beat him this year. all his losses have been to either a junior or a senior.
Go back to the center. 1:19 left. 4-1 lead for McCallie, second period. Colonial Conference, Tri-County Conference Showcase.
Greenwald's patent and pin combination move is usually a half and the far wrist. When you got a guy like a senior who's been around the wars, it's pretty tough to catch in that kind of situation.
It's interesting, Voge, looking at the showcase team and not seeing a Delsey person on the Tri-County team.
It's bizarre. Very bizarre. Well, the same thing with, we have no Collingswood wrestlers on the team, right?
Right.
Collingswood's got to be the second best team in the Colonial Conference. They wrestle Paulsboro Monday night. And it's kind of surprising not to see a Collingswood wrestler in the lineup. But the tide changes. Watch Pennsville in another year. They could be a formidable team coming up.
McCallie tries to stand up. Greenwald right back down to the mat.
Well, and see, in many instances, that move would have worked for McCallie, but the aggressiveness of Greenwald comes into play. He's not going to let you away easily. You may escape him or get points on him, but it's not going to be for his lack of trying.
Some of the other officials, the ones not on the mat, calling for stalling, Voge. But there's the escape from McCallie.
There's the escape from
That's
McCallie.
5-1.
That's why I said, you know, McCallie is a tested veteran. He's going to use everything in his power to score points. And he has a 5-1 lead with 30 seconds to go in this period.
An interesting call against McCallie for warning, stall warning.
You saw Dean Duca, the assistant to Paul Marina, standing up and shouting encouragement to Greenwald. 15 seconds to go in the period. So, you know, I would do exactly what McCallie's doing. I can block at this point. I have a 5-1 lead. I'll be happy to block and look for an opening and go for the takedown.
Yeah, Russell's smart.
Well, he's forcing Greenwald to expose himself.
Right.
Forcing him to make the mistake by having that kind of a lead. Some people may see it as stalling with McCallie. I see it as being mat savvy out there and
absolutely
being smart.
Yeah, McCallie knows. I mean, he's been in the tough matches. He's wrestled in the districts, the regions, the state competition, the Virginia duels. And so, I mean, he's not a rookie out there. He knows.
He knows what he has to do.
There's the escape, now 5-2.
And again, McCallie knows that with a 5-2 lead, he's going to force Greenwald into making the mistakes.
And he grabs that leg of Greenwald's.
And he's crunching it up. He's trying to move around. Greenwald has the ankle, but McCallie has the advantage. He's trying to step right over. Greenwald has to give a hard crossface there. Try and release his leg.
The clock is the ally for McCallie, though. During all this time, though, the clock keeps moving.
Keeps ticking.
Stalemate, 1:11 left. Injury time.
Well, you know, people unhappy with the wrestler asking for injury time, but you know, these wrestlers, the safety of the wrestlers is the first responsibility of the official, and if somebody indicates that something is hurting, you can't deny them that. They have a minute and a half injury time available to them. If they start to wrestle again and the injury time is asked for a second time, the opposing wrestler will get choice of position.
Maybe a cramp or something. There you see Whedon.
For treating of and then putting in place.
I think people got to remember that these are kids too.
Absolutely.
And if something is hurting, whether it's a cramp or whether it's a tightness, you have to take the time to examine that. .110 to go in the match. Greenwald is on the short end of a 5-2 score.
Greenwald taking the shot from McCauley, spins around and gets the takedown.
Sure, because he's making Greenwald make the mistakes.
7-2.
So he has the lead, and you can push and push all you want, but if you take a bad shot, I'm just going to counter the bad shot. Keeps it out by Greenwald, gets the escape, and now he's got to go to work. Time is his enemy.
7-3. McCauley in deep again on that leg, Voge.
And he's going to walk it around. If he walks it around and gets control, he'll get the takedown.
There's the takedown, 9-3.
"17 seconds to go."
You know, you look at common opponents, so McCauley's probably wrestled, I think, Delia. They both wrestled Delia.
Right. Well, you know, when you wrestle there's an escape, when you're wrestling in the Virginia duels and you're wrestling against Camden Catholic and you're wrestling against Kittatinny, you have some formidable opponents that you've had to go up against.
Right. 9-4 lead. So we're looking probably, Voge, with 3 matches to go at 21-21. You think the Colonial would be favored in the last 2 weight classes. There's the win for McCauley. Nice 9-4 win.
9-4. From Kingsway High School, Tom McCauley. .189 representing the Colonial Conference out of West Deptford High School, Steve Flannery.
Steve Flannery of West Deptford now going at 189, and it's James Hassett from Williamstown.
Flannery Jr. from West Deptford, 17-4 this year with 47 career wins, a district runner-up in 2006. James Hassett of Williamstown, also a junior, 19-5 this year, 46 career wins, second in District 30 in 2006. So you have 2 wrestlers who were district runners-up last year.
And we'll see Flannery again in a couple of days, Vogue, probably against that Gerald Hodges. It'll be an interesting match also.
Yeah, a lot of people might be asking why Flannery got the nod here. The criteria that was set up was based on wins in the districts and regionals last year. And of course, Hodges was a backup last year, has really come into his own this year. And people can see for themselves on Wednesday night how Flannery, who's wrestling in this bout, matches up with Hodges when they go head-to-head in the dual meet competition.
Of course, Flannery's brother wrestles, I think, what, 171, so his brothers go back-to-back.
Right.
For West Deptford.
And of course, you'll see the coach for Williamstown this year, Danny Calhoun, stepped down after a great year last year, and John Jernigan is the coach at Williamstown now. And of course, we mentioned earlier, John Craig, the head coach at West Deptford. Now, how much more better of a matchup can you get than to have the meet all tied up 21-21 at this late juncture in the program with 3 bouts to go.
So you like this idea then for a match like this, Vogue? Something you think that they should keep?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, many of these teams don't see each other during the season. Tri-County has a lot of Tri-County matchups because of the 2 divisions. And, of course, the Colonial Conference, you're bound to 9 of those matches on your schedule with your Colonial Conference competition.
I guess when it comes time for seedings and regions, it's going to make life a little bit easier for those people seeding than some of these matches have.
Especially if that's part of the criteria, head-to-head bouts, and it's very, very important. It's important in your district to wrestle as many district teams as you can, You
Looks
know,
like Flannery had Hassett in a little bit of trouble there, but
and Hassett's a good veteran out on the mat and gets out of trouble. But that's why head-to-head matchups are so important among district teams. So you try and wrestle as many teams in your district as you can. And of course, with the sectional tournament, you have situations where a Paulsboro might wrestle a Clayton in a district, and you would have that advantage as we see another 0-0 score after one period.
Hassett takes the bottom, begin period number 2. I want to thank, by the way, Voge, everybody here at Clearview. Terrific job. Very nice when we came in. Anything we needed. Of course, Mike McAleer, who came on our show to promote the event and getting us a lot of information. Of course, you staying up past midnight, Voge, working on this.
Well, I think it's a great concept, and I think you're seeing so many district and regional place winners here, a couple of state place winners, and it's something that the fans in Gloucester County deserve. There's some very good wrestling in Gloucester County. Of course, the balance of power in the state has switched around a little bit. The shore area teams with Jackson and Southern Regional and Howell have really come into their own in the last couple of years. But Gloucester County's got a lot of deep wrestling tradition with the Paulsboros and the Kingsways and the Williamstowns. So they produce some very good wrestlers on their own. And of course, Shalleck, Farnham has done such a fantastic job at Shalleck. Former head coach at West Effort High School, now the head coach at Shalleck High School. And of course, you have to speak volumes about Danny Antonelli at Clayton and the job he's done.
Absolutely. And we mentioned West Effort, Voge. I mean, there's a program that was down the last few years. And actually, Craig came in towards the end of last year, and look what he's done there.
John Craig has done a very good job. And, of course, Vince Layton and Jason Morrell involved with the program, and they have a good, strong West Effort background. So you got a lot to be proud of here in the county. And seeing some of these wrestlers perform today makes it very interesting and very worthwhile. And a good cause, of course. We mentioned earlier that the proceeds are going to scholarship funds from both conferences.
On this match, we have 5 seconds left. Hassett has the only point escape here in the second. And we'll go into the third and see if Flannery can tie this one up for the Colonials, or if Hassett can hold on for the Trico. You know, you look at Group 2, Vogue, and you see West Effort there. They lost a close one to Collingswood. You know, the close one to Cinnamints, and Point Pleasant Burrows 13-0, but we don't know anything about them. They're up in the Shore Conference. They don't wrestle the Jacksons or the Southerns like that, so we're not sure how they are. And that was all going into this weekend. So it'll be interesting. I mean, West Effort's got a shot maybe to make some noise in South Jersey, avenge some losses. You also have Buna, who had a tough weekend.
Yes, they did. And they're starting to slide a little bit.
Yep.
They're not in my top 10 next week. See a stalling warning against Hassett, who just grabs the legs and holds on.
Another stall
Another
warning.
stall just for holding a leg and, you know, not making an attempt to take his man to the mat. So that could be huge.
Well, what was the difference there, Vogue, between that and the match that we saw with Gattuso and Cucinato?
None that I could see.
Okay. Now all Flannery's got to do is escape and just avoid being taken down. He could win this match. And we're going to see a freestyle start. So it looks like he's going to cut him, Vogue. And you know what happens if you cut him?
You got to take him down, brother.
You're listening, Vogue.
Stay open.
You're absolutely right. There's the free escape.
Just Hassett's thinking you don't want to try and hold him down and then let him go with 30 seconds left, and then you're forced to try and get a takedown in the final 30 seconds. Well, this way you can work the period.
The previous start, Hassett had used a freestyle start and did what many wrestlers will do, look like you're going to just turn the man loose, then try for a near side cradle. And he missed that and had to grab onto the leg, and when he grabbed onto the leg, he didn't take it back to the mat right away, and stalling warning, and then a stalling point was given. So now Hassett has his work cut out. He's down 2-1 with just over 45 seconds to go, 47 seconds. He's got to get a takedown.
Okay, let's get back to that stall call.
Yes.
So do you agree with that, or do you agree with the one at 160?
I don't agree with what was called here. I would have rather seen a stalemate called the very first time, and warn a wrestler, if you're going to grab on that leg, you got to take him back to the mat. Yeah, it's just, I guess, a different perspective out there and what you interpret as being the stall warning and the stall calls.
There's a warning against West Efforts. Now, that's big, because now Flannery's forced to wrestle the last 20 seconds. He can't just sit back on that win, on that lead, I should say.
And of course, I don't really understand that either. But then again, I'm not an official.
It sure sounds like you are, Vogt. There goes Flannery going right at him, which he has to do. 3 seconds left. 2, 1, and that's it.
Wow, 2 to 1.
That puts the Colonial in the driver's seat now, Vogt.
Yes.
24-21 with Silvestro and Hester coming up. 24-21 Colonial.
And 2:15.
24-21 Colonial Conference leads, and 2:15 Alex Silvestro of Paulsboro, Cody Berry of Kingsway.
Cody Berry is senior like Alex is. 17 wins, 8 losses this year, 64 career wins. Was third in District 31 in 2005. Alex Silvestro is quite an outstanding athlete in his own right, already signed and sealed to go to Rutgers University for football, but he and Hester have given Paulsboro a great 1-2 punch at the top of the lineup the last 3 years. Silvestro, the senior, 24-1 this year, 118-15 in his career. First in the district in 2004, 2005, 2006. Fourth in Region 8 in 2004, second in Region 8 the last 2 years, sixth in the state in 2005, fourth in the state in 2006. Quite a resume.
Now, Coach Cody Berry must have lost some weight, because there's a kid who wrestling as a light heavyweight, because he was a heavyweight for the first 3 years and wrestling 215 in heavyweight this year.
Yeah, it says slimmed down and looks like the much better athlete for slimming down. Silvestro's only loss was in the finals of the Council Rock tournament. There's one of his patented takedown moves. He gets in on the legs like he did so often on the football field, gets the takedown, has the early 2-0 lead.
A couple of these guys, football players, of course, Cody Berry, an excellent lineman for Tony Barchuk's Kingsway team last few years.
And Silvestro, a two-way end for Paulsboro, a defensive end and a tight end. Greg Schiano, of course, inviting him into Scarlet Nightland, which makes the Birch Kelly family very happy, and the Silvestro family.
Hey, I'm happy. Nice to see a local kid do well. I have a son graduating from there next year, actually.
That's right. The Mondelli family should be happy. Nice sit out and turn in by Cody Berry to get the escape. So he's not going to roll over and play dead here for Silvestro. He's going to make him work out there on the mat. Not a whole lot of room on the outside of that circle. And for the bigger guys, officials have to be alert to get over there and protect them from falling on the basketball floor.
Probably remember last year, Coach Berry hurt at the end of last year because he missed that sectional final against Central.
Yes.
Some injury problems.
Berry making Silvestro work for any additional points. Again,
Silvestro in on that shot. Gets a takedown. Nice takedown with 12 seconds left, too.
A simple attack where you go for the football type tackle and get the takedown. Silvestro with a 4-1 lead after one period.
I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself, Votes, but I'm sure everybody's thinking about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks from about right now, a matter of fact. I think his name's Jesse Boyden from Brearley. I think who's ranked maybe third at this weight class. Alex is ranked number 2.
And we just picked as the Star Ledger's Wrestler of the Week this last week.
Just 2 weeks ago, they actually was Demetrius Hester.
Demetrius Hester, who was signed and sealed to go to the University of Delaware next year.
Another escape for Berry. It's 4-2. Just beginning the second period.
Yeah, Jesse Boyden and Silvestro wrestled last year when Paulsboro won. There you see Alex Silvestro's father. very interested in what's going on here. Of course, the father at Matt's side for all these matches, the grandfather at most of them.
Silvestro in on the shot again. Does he have enough room to finish? Yes, he does. There's the takedown at 6-2.
And this is where Silvestro got his only loss of the year. Not here at Clearview, but in the Council Rock Tournament Finals. He wrestled a wrestler from I believe it was Bethlehem Catholic, and was vulnerable in letting somebody get on his legs, and wasn't the aggressor there that he has been here today, and that cost him in that match. Lost by decision.
Another escape for Berry. It's now 6-3.
And since that time, Silvestro has been the aggressor in most of his matches out there, and that's what he has to do. He has to be the guy in charge. Can't do it recklessly, as you saw there. He took a shot. Berry tried to counter by forcing the head down and spinning behind. It seems to me like when Silvestro is the aggressive wrestler out there and the determined wrestler, many times he's going to come out as a successful wrestler.
I know I don't have to tell you this, but sometimes a real good wrestler can make you look bad.
Absolutely.
So maybe sometimes you just got beat by the better guy.
Yeah, if you take the ill-advised shots out there and don't plan what you're going to do, it could backfire on you.
Silvestro again with that shot. Berry trying to fight it off. Trying. There's the takedown.
Yep. And notice how
on the line.
Yeah, and notice how Silvestro that time, when Berry was trying to counter him on that takedown, how he reversed his direction out there. Instead of continuing one way, he reversed right back to the other way, and that paid off with the takedown. 24 seconds to go.
Caution on Silvestro.
And what he should really attempt do here with 23 seconds to go is stay right on his man and keep him down on the mat. See if he can do it. Gets a waist and ankle. Keeps the pressure on. What Silvestro has to be careful of here is not
riding parallel.
Yeah, not get parallel. He's got to keep the bar arm in there, and he's trying to bar the arm. And he rides him out for the 8-3 lead after 2 periods.
Take a look, Boge.
Here he goes here. You'll notice instead of going to his left, he's going to come back to his right. Breaks that brace arm down, and you see Berry tried to get the overhook in there, but his hips were too far down the mat. He gave up the takedown.
Silvestro starts on the bottom, gets the escape, now 9-3. We'll see. I'm sure now we'll see Berry come right after. There's nothing to lose at this point.
Not at all, and Silvestro gets another takedown. He's in major decision territory. Right now, it's a 6-point lead. If he gets another takedown, it's an 8-point lead, and you have 4 points for your team.
Silvestro had a tough match yesterday against Absecamp, right, Coach? 10-2. I mean, you said it was methodical.
Right.
But he had to work for a major.
He wrestled a young fellow by the name of Capella, whose brother Kyle was a very good wrestler for Absecamp a couple of years ago. And you see a stalling warning against Kingsway for backing off. And Silvestro has work cut out yesterday, and they worked very hard to get the major decision. Of course, Capella's doing a lot of blocking, which you have to do. If you're trailing and you know you're wrestling a superior opponent, you don't want to give up any more than a major decision if that's what's going to happen. So you try and block a lot out there and make the man work to get the extra 2 points.
Minute 10 left. Silvestro with the shot.
Again, he's in on the leg, and he wants to drive forward. Gets the takedown. He's got possible back points here if he can drive the man over. He's got a back point call. Oh my. Oh my.
Plenty of time. 40 seconds left in the period.
He's got Berry in a lot of trouble. Oh my. Oh my. Just want to make sure that the other official looking in to make sure. Now he's got the half end. Wants to stretch him out. Oh my!
There's the pin.
Oh brother!
With 19 seconds left. As you see, Alex Sylvester, the father of Alex, the wrestler. 30-21 now, Colonial.
5:41, the time of the fall. Great job by Silvestro.
At 285, representing the Colonial Conference, out of Paulsboro High School,
Demetrius Hester and Andrew Prince.
Andrew Prince, a senior, 15-10 this year. Hester having a remarkable career at Paulsboro, 23-0 this year, 119-12 in his career, 3-time district champion. In first in Region 8 in 2005, second last year, fifth in the state in 2005, and second in the state last year. And I've said earlier this year, a man on a mission. He wants to get to the top of that podium at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City.
He's on a collision course with Zach Ray, who he was 500 with last year, vote split a couple matches, but the all-important match was the one he wants to avenge.
Yeah, he beat him in the state all-star meet in Crick Memorial last year, but when he got to the state finals, Zach Ray made Demetrius Hester make the mistakes, and Hester did, and Zach Ray capitalized on that and won a decision to win the state championship. Most recently, Casey Keeler has gotten Hester to agree to come to the University of Delaware next year for football. Former head coach at Rowan University, now the head coach at University of Delaware. So Hester, who's a Red Raider this year, will be a Blue Hen next year. Andrew Prince, again, like Cody Berry, is not going to roll over and die for a formidable opponent.
Another football player. He was honored Prince by the Touchdown Club this year, vote.
Yes, he was. So again, you can't take a silly shot out there. You have to be thinking out there what you're going to do. And this will be an upset of earthquake proportions if Prince were to beat Hester, but that doesn't mean you don't go out there and give it a shot.
Hester with the leg. Does he get the takedown, vote? He got it. 2-0 lead, 18 seconds left.
And that's bulldog persistence out there.
It's just if you're the guy on top, you got to keep your guy down for the final 18 seconds.
Well, I think so. I think you have to break him down here, and which Hester does a great job of the waist and ankle, but Prince is not going to give up easily. He comes up to his feet. Oh, what a nice move by Hester. Oh, my.
He's going to get back points. He might run out of time.
Oh, my.
Got the pin with 2 seconds left.
Oh, my.
36-21 the final, Boach.
What a great performance by some of these wrestlers from the Colonial Conference.
Final score, Colonial Conference wins 36-21. By the way, votes Paulsboro Kingsway match up 6 times. Paulsboro wins 5 of those 6. Couple real tight ones. We had Lopez a 1-point win. Cuccinata wins in sudden death. So a great afternoon of wrestling.
And of course, a lot of talk in the forum lately about why don't Paulsboro and Kingsway wrestle? And if they did, Kingsway would win. And I think Paulsboro might have put that myth to sleep.
Matchups and who wins the toss. And I thought you've been around this sport too long. You can't just go by this one match.
Absolutely right. But they certainly put an exclamation point on what many people have been bragging about on the forum. So all I got to say is that they met 6 times and lost 5.
There you go. Final score 36-21 for the entire crew here at Comcast. John Mondelli and John Vogening signing off. We'll see you next time.